Good. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm Edgar. How can I help?
I'm Coley, and
I'm Christian.
Hey, Christian.
we have our three boys in the background kind of roaming around, but they're available if you
Okay.
need to ask them any questions.
Okay. Good to know.
And the most important family member here,
All right. Hi, dog.
that's Coda.
Okay. So that's good to know. So what do we have? We have three kids, one dog, mom and a dad, and any other pets? Any cats?
Nope,
No.
Okay. Okay.
6 of us.
Okay. That's good to know. I'm going to start off by asking you a bunch of questions. They're a little strange, but they kind of guide us in a way that will help without asking you these important questions that kind of guide us off into all kinds of wrong ways. So if you were going to name a retailer that you identified with from a design perspective, who would that be? Meaning like a Restoration Hardware, maybe a Room and Board, Crate and Barrel, West Elm, CB2, something like that.
I mean, I definitely always have had my eye on Restoration Hardware. If I didn't have 3 kids and a dog, I would identify with them.
You would identify with them. So that can mean
Yeah, design-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
How tall are both of you?
I am 5'5".
Okay.
5'11".
5'11". So 5'5", 5'11". And I have to ask, sorry, how much do you guys weigh? It plays a really important role in how we sit into the sofa, how we sit down, and seat heights and all that stuff.
Yeah, no problem. I'm 122 pounds as of 2 days ago.
Okay.
I am 191.
Okay. So 191, and you said 5'11"?
Yeah.
And 5 what?
5'5".
5'5". 5'11", 5'5". Okay.
The heights of the boys at all?
Not really. You two are the primaries, and so
Those are ever changing.
yeah, and they're going to change and probably outgrow you anyway, and we'll work with that later.
Probably move out too. So
And probably move out. Yeah. And you'll still have the same sofa.
Yeah.
How cozy do the two of you want to be? How much sink in? How,
On a scale of 1 to 10 on coziness for this sofa in our house, a 10.
Okay, a 10, so super cozy. And that leads to this next question is, how OCD are the two of you, either of you, how it relates to your, home environment?
On a scale of 1 to 10, he'd be a 0.
No. No. I will say this.
We're in the middle.
We're in the middle, but we have a significant challenge, which is frustrating, with three young Tasmanian devils.
Yeah, totally.
I'm probably in the middle, not too OCD. I don't walk my sofa and fluff the cushions.
Okay. 5'11", 5'5", middle on the OCD, super cozy. The reason why I ask you a lot of these questions is the main question is the question about who do you identify with on a retail point of view. I'm actually looking for scale, right? I want to understand, what are you familiar with scale? The cozy question is about, how cozy do you guys want to be? How thinking do you want to be? And the OCD thing plays a big role into it, because you can't be super high on an OCD scale and have super cozy. The reason being is there's a lot of maintenance when it comes to being cozy. Right? When we sink in, we have to have softer cushions, and that equals lots of fluffing. There's no way around that. And so we kind of look at that and make judgments. Everything is a trade-off, right? We give one to get one kind of thing. And so will this be used as is this a main living room sofa?
Yeah,
okay.
It's really our only spot where we
Okay, so a daily sitter. We've got lots of people and
a kitchen right behind us and a living room right here.
Okay. I'm going to give you a little information on foam. You can take this with you to, obviously for us, but for any other retailer. The first question we want to ask when we talk about quality is, what sort of foam do you have in your sofas? If these retailers don't know, there's probably a reason for that. If they knew, it would be a sales point. So we talk about quality and how things fall off in the sofa, how long it takes for something to kind of fall apart. We take a 1 square foot block of foam and we weigh it, right? And that weight gives us how much latex is in the foam. Latex equals longevity and pushback, right? That pushback is what keeps the cushion looking good for longer. A Pottery Barn sofa, let's say, is a 1.8 to a 2.0 pound foam, right? Weighs 1.8 pounds for a 1 square foot block. That is like a 2 to 3 year cushion. Then you go up to like a Crate and Barrel, something like that. They're in the 2.0 range. Many retailers are in this 2.0 range, and 2 pounds. That's a 3 to 5 year sofa. My old company, that is a Benchmade Modern. Don't know if you're familiar with that, but I had another company before this that I sold to a big giant furniture manufacturer. They used what's called a 2.3 pound foam. That's a 7 year sofa. We use a 2.5 pound foam. That gives us about a 10 year length of time on those cushions. And then we put a spring inside that gives us another 3. So about a 13 year sofa is really where we're at.
It's heavy. It's a heavy foam.
It's not necessarily heavy. It does have more. Yes, it does have more latex in it, so it makes the cushions heavier. But there's a big difference. Latex is expense, and therefore that's a way for a retailer to make more margin. That's one of the first things that they cut, and so that's why our sofas do great. It's a good thing to know. Springs and frame and all that. At this level, they should be lifetime across the board. Maybe not so much at like a Pottery Barn, but at this level, that should be the least of your worries. So when you're shopping around, ask those questions because that really matters. That's what falls apart first. And that foam is covering everything. Their arms have foam, the sides have foam, the back, inside, and all that. And it's a real good question to ask when shopping around. I'm going to walk you through the showroom. I'm going to give you an idea of how things sit and kind of how they relate. Was there a sofa that you guys saw on our site that you liked most, that kind of stuck out to you?
Yeah. Let me look at it really fast.
Yeah.
You want to get set up where you're...
Yeah. We're good. Yeah, go ahead and let me know. It plays a role, but really what we're going to do is we're going to make sure the sofa fits your bodies. And I think that's one of the things that we've kind of, as sofa manufacturers and brands, direct-to-consumer brands, we've kind of forgotten about how the sofa fits. It's all about, does it look good? And, do we send you fancy emails along the way and all that? I'm at fault for that. We were doing that at Benchmade. And now, this new brand is all about quality, what's under the hood, and longevity. And I think that's, and making sure that it fits the bodies. You and your husband there are at very different heights and weights, right? And you sit very differently when you sit into the sofa. And so I want to find a combination that works for you both so that you both can sit correctly in a sofa. I imagine that you probably curl up like a snake a lot when you sit in the sofa. And he does what I call man sit, which is we put our butt real forward and we lay back like this and we click away. And that's inherent to men, and women tend to sit a little differently. A lot of that has to do with seat height and sink in, and we've just kind of trained ourselves over the years to sit like that.
The ones we gravitated to would probably be the Sacramento.
Okay.
The Not Called Frisco.
Okay.
Wasn't there one that you really... I think it might have been that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Not
Called Frisco. The
okay.
one was cool as well.
Okay.
The Frisco because has a little more coverage down below.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're easy, honestly.
Okay. One thing that you'll notice is each of the names of the sofas are California cities. They kind of represent the feel of that city. Like, for instance, right now I'm sitting in Venice, and I'll quickly show you Venice on my way through, some of the sofas. I'll show you some different cushions, and I'll kind of show you how they feel on different sofas along the way, and we'll stop at Sacramento and Not Called Frisco. Venice is, a hip, kind of cool Southern California place, a little bit trendy. And so let me show you that now. So this is Venice. This is actually our Venice in leather. You'll notice that it has quite a bit of butt wrinkling across the cushion. The fabric doesn't necessarily show that. We do that in leather because we don't want you to sit on a balloon, basically. So in order to get it to be soft and comfortable, we sit you down into it. We take a little bit of stuffing out, but that kind of gives it this wavy feel. The fabric is much tauner, so you can sit down into it. The fabric stretches and comes up and down. This particular sofa has this waterfall cushion, or back cushion, waterfall seat cushion. It means that there's no boxing around here. Everything in this collection is really round and flowy. This is our foam and trillium cushion. It's got a layer of foam, and then we wrap it in like a comforter cover of fluffy material, and that fluffy material is called trillium. And trillium is a hyperallergenic down replacement. I no longer use feather anymore. The whole feather thing kind of grosses me out to begin with. The feather rooms are disgusting. But feather is really good when we wrap our bodies in feather or use feather as a top cover, like in a comforter. It's not so good when we sit on it, because when we sit on it, the feathers break and we lose that push power. And in order to get longevity out of our sofas, we want to have as much push power as possible. So we use this stuff called trillium. Trillium is a finely raked fiber, and it's like teddy bear stuffing material that we pull really taut, and it makes these little strands. We add a little bit of silicone to that, and the silicone makes it glide around, and it feels a lot like feather, but it still has that puff power that we want. So we take that, we shove that into a bag like a comforter, and we wrap that around the foam. That gives it its soft and coziness. So
do all the options have that trillium, or is that for like?
Most of the options have trillium. Some of the tight sofas that wouldn't be appropriate for you because you wanted a real cozy sofa, like our 510. 510 doesn't have the trillium because the look of that sofa is very much pulled tight. To keep that fine line, we can't have softness. And a good rule of thumb is if it looks soft in the imagery, then it can be soft. If it doesn't look soft, like it might look cool, but it's not going to be soft when you get it. 510 is a great example of that. It's much more about form than it is function. So here we have the Palo Alto sofa. Now this sofa was named after Palo Alto because I was raising a lot of money in my last company. And I would sit in all these Palo Alto firms, and I noticed that they all had these real simple, fully upholstered sofas that were very uncomfortable, very lobby-like, but they look clean and beautiful. And the reason why I bring you here, this is definitely not the sofa for you if you want soft and cozy, but I bring you here to show you the different types of seat cushions on the same sofa. So right here, we have let's see if I can get that right. We have our structured cushion. This is a bouncy spring-filled cushion. It's got a spring inside, and then we wrap it with a firmer foam and some fiber. And it kind of gives you this springy feel. But notice there's no fluffing, right? This is definitely not the cushion for you. So when you check out, definitely do not pick the structured cushion. It's much more of a structured feel, not light and cozy. And then over here, I'm back to the foam and trillium. And this is that soft. This could be a decent cushion for you. It's comfortable, but I wouldn't say it's cozy. So if you were higher in the OCD level, past 0 over there, or now I guess you reconfirm your middle of the road. But for a middle of the road, this could be a good cushion, but it's not as soft and cozy as our California Cush, which I'll show you a little bit later.
I do want to add to that, something that lasts as long as possible is super important to us too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
all of our sofas, will give a long timeline. I would say that the California Cush is our best cushion for you because it's not only soft and cozy, but it has a spring in it. And anytime we can have a mechanical thing inside the cushion, this is why our parents' sofas lasted so long. Most of our parents had either a fully upholstered seat, which has springs inside it, a lot like the cushions, the seats in your car, right? It has springs inside, and it's got layers of, foam and horsehair, and which is not really horsehair. It's like weird fiber material that weirdly they call horsehair. There's all these layers of springs and stuff, and those last forever. That's what we do in the California Cush. It's got a spring inside. It's wrapped in foam. It's very soft. This is just a firmer version. So this is the Sacramento. This is one of the sofas that you thought might work for you. Sacramento in general, the city, is a little bit, uptight, a little bit upright, a little bit more traditional in general. So this is a very traditional frame, a traditional seat height. And when we talk about seat heights, 17 and a half, 18 to 20, somewhere in there. So for him, this seat height will work well for you. But for you, I don't think this is the right sofa because it's too high for you. Your feet will dangle a bit, especially with the structure. When we move over to here to the foam and trillium cushion, you'll see that I sink down into it quite a bit more. My body is more like this. You might fit in this. We get you enough sink that you'll sink down. He'll fit very well in this. Mm-hmm. And so this could be a good sofa for you in the California Cush or the foam and trillium. Probably more so in the California Cush because your body will hang down in. Men kind of like this tacoing where their knees are above their belly button. For some reason, we like that. We also like to sit like this, like I mentioned, right? And we click away. I mean, I sit like this all the time.
Like that?
Well, I do with the extension.
Yeah, we have like a little ottoman on our current.
Okay, yeah.
Totally. And I love that. I love sitting on the ottoman. That's like my favorite.
Okay, with your feet up?
Yeah.
Is that what it would be called? Like the end little L.
The little.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a shade. Yeah.
Embarrassed to show our current sofa right now. It's so
that's a sofa with shade.
It's been through 3 kids and a dog, couple dogs.
I've seen way worse. Way worse.
It's bad right now.
This could be good. I'll show you the side of it. This is the Sacramento again. You see, it's a very traditional frame, goes all the way to the floor. Bring you down there.
I want to show you, Edgar, really fast too. Like the way our living room is set up is this is probably how I want it.
Okay.
Want to be because we have our entry door right there, and it's just really comfy, and then our TV's right here. So
okay. I have some design ideas for you from more of a feng shui look and feel. Maybe a sectional with bumper might be good. We can work through that once we figure out, what works for you. If you'll notice here, my shoulders, I'm 5'8". I weigh 190 pounds. I'm sinking down in, but this kind of gives you the feel of what, of how I'm sitting. So it's not full head support, but I've got a full back support. This sofa is a little bit more upright feeling to it.
Tell me again what that one's called.
This is the Sacramento.
Oh, okay. We're still on the Sacramento. Got it.
Yeah. I'm just going to show you this one over here just as an interesting thing to look at. This is our Big Sur, right?
Okay.
It has a really deep cushion. You'll notice that you mentioned restoration hardware. And the reason why I'm showing you this is very much scaled in a restoration hardware shape. Restoration hardware is all about these massive sofas. The reason for that is not necessarily because they're more comfortable, but they scale to those big restoration hardware homes. I don't know that your living room can handle that, right? Yeah. Your living room is a little smaller. These big, deep sofas kind of conflict. What we do with this, though, is we make this particular sofa, the Big Sur, we make it 2 inches shorter, which basically puts the cushion out about like that and creates a more, normal sit. This is not good for a shorter. The sofa as is not good for a shorter person, anywhere from like 5'8". The deeper sofas make you lay back like this. So if you want any sort of support, the Big Sur doesn't necessarily work for that unless we shorten it by 2 inches. And we do that all the time on a special order basis.
Okay.
Kind of just show you around.
Looking at the website at the Big Sur right now, which is really beautiful.
Yeah, it's got a really beautiful base. And I'll just kind of show you from a side view. You have to kind of sit like this. But for a very tall person, Tall people love this because they can, sit back. Right now, my feet aren't touching the ground. Again, I'm 5'8". My feet don't touch the ground. But when we bump it out 2 inches, I sit basically around there. It's a very nice sofa for that. Mm-hmm. Has a nice wood leg, solid wood, all the way around. Okay, so here's what I'm going to show you next. I'm going to move this out of the way. This is our O-side, Oceanside, California, beach town. We joke you want to look as good on the front as you do on the back when you're at the beach, right? And so this particular sofa is as beautiful in the front as it is in the back. I'll show you the leg in a minute. But what I want to focus on right now is these cushions. This is the cushion that I think is right for you. This is the California Cush, as is, no modifications at all. It's soft, it's cozy, it's our coziest of cushions. People love this. It's got a spring inside. That's going to give you the longevity. So we wrap that 2.5-pound foam. We wrap it in a 35 density resilient foam. It allows you to sink in, and then it bounces back. You'll notice that there's barely any wrinkling there. Yeah. And so that's kind of the nice feature about having a mechanical pushed cushion. Now I'm going to show you over here. This is the foam and trillium. The foam and trillium is slightly firmer. Still a great seat cushion, but slightly firmer. This is, a 10-year cushion. I've made my name on this foam and trillium cushion. So I often recommend this when people are kind of in between. I don't know if I want soft or firm or whatever. I'm just like, get the foam and trillium. That's the way to go. It's an in-between, and we've sold so many that we know it's great, and we often win. So I'll show you the back here. This is what we're most proud of, is this wooden leg. This is a great sofa if you are putting it in a room that you can see the back of it, right? It's got this beautiful solid wood all the way around.
Yeah, that's so cool. But since ours are against the wall,
it's a real waste of money, frankly.
It's a waste of money.
Yeah, because you're paying a ton of money for that leg, and so I often tell people, unless you are have the O-side floating out into the middle of the room, the Venice, the one I showed you in the very beginning, is very similar from a visual perspective. The ergonomics are very similar and all that, but you don't have that fancy leg in the back, and so therefore it's like $1,000 less. So that's the better choice if you're putting it against the wall. But in your case, you want the not called Frisco or the Sacramento. It's a bigger sofa. I think actually the not called Frisco would be better in your home because it's got a relatively small living room. It's got a smaller scale. The back is lower. And so I'll show you that here.
Edgar, you can choose the different legs, right?
Yeah, the leg on the not called Frisco
sweep under our sofa often.
It comes in a bunch of different colors, solid woods and stained woods and blonde. And I tend to like it in the darker woods because the leg kind of goes away. It makes the sofa look like it's just floating a little more. But it does show enough, there's a little bit of detail there so that you can see it. This particular cushion that I'm sitting in, this is not called Frisco in the structured cushions. And you'll see this sofa is a little bit more loungy, right? It's already pushes your body out a little bit. In particular in this cushion, because I'm sitting on top of it a little bit. When I bring you over to the other side, I have a foam and, or the California Cush. You'll see that I sink down in. And this is what I think is best for you too. And I'll tell you why.
Beautiful.
This particular cushion is perfect for people of your height difference. This is my go-to when I have two people that are that much difference in height. Men, like I said, they sink down in. He'll sink down in. His knees will be just slightly above his belly button. For some reason, we love that. I'm not quite sure why, but when we sink down in, we get comfortable like that. And we can sit like this. We can sit like this. This is very comfortable. Women, especially of your height, you can sit upright like you never have before because you're not used to having a seat height that is fit actually for you. You can also curl up like a snake if you want, but you don't have to. The reason why you curl up like a snake is because you're squirming to find a way to get comfortable, and you have to do that on a high seat height. When you have a lower seat height, now you have the option of sitting normal. You don't have to weirdly kind of hike yourself up and do all the things that shorter people typically do. And so you can sit upright, you can sit regular. It will fit the kids now. This is a great option. Let me show you from the side as I'm sitting. So you see my shoulders are back, relatively even. I'm not pitched back. That's the thing with a lower cushion. If you're sitting down into the sofa, it doesn't throw you back like this. And so you're not having to balance your head. When you're sitting correctly in a sofa, you're sitting down into it, but your head is balanced on your shoulder. And it's not throwing you back, making you put your hand like this or wanting to put a pillow. So if it fits you correctly, you'll sit correct like this. Someone your size and someone his size will sit perfectly in the sofa all day long. And we have lots of success with that.
Okay.
You know,
that seems like the one for us.
And I can answer that question for you as far as like men like to put their knees up. There's kind of there's a neurobiological reason for that, and it goes back to our caveman days. If we have our knees up, we're in a defensive position.
Okay, interesting.
And it sounds like, kind of.
That's interesting.
It sounds strange, but there's actually, that's part of men, hunter-gatherers and protectors that you've got your knee up.
I see that all the time, and when people come into the store, I watch their body language. That's one of the first things I do. I don't tell them until about halfway through that I've been studying them the whole time. I watch how they move and how they squirm and, how they cross their legs and all that. And it's really interesting when you study enough people sitting time and time again, you pick up on these things immediately. And by the time I get them to about here, I'm like, okay, here's the perfect fit for you. And here's why. It's pretty cool.
No, you're speaking my language. You look at all the psychomotor activity, and it's interesting.
Obviously. So let me show you guys some fabrics.
Cool.
I'll bring you back up through the front here. We've got lots of great fabrics.
Where's your showroom located?
We are in Orinda, California, and Orinda is just on the other side of the bay from San Francisco. So right across the Bay Bridge on the other side of say the Berkeley Hills, where like Cal Berkeley is.
Got it. Okay.
So with the fabrics are an interesting thing right now. We've all moved towards a polyester and polyester blends. They are the way to go, especially for you guys with your family. They clean really well. They clean with soapy water. We always want to blot. We never want to rub. When we rub fabrics, we kind of sand them, and while we might get the stain out, we leave like these sand marks. So I always tell people, when you have a spill, blot it with a clean rag, then take some water, pour a little water on there, blot it again. Keep like rinsing basically. Pick up that water out of there. A little stain should end up to be like a big, massive water ring. That's totally okay. It will dry. But for you guys with your kids, we want a performance fabric, right? So we have all of these different colors. They're all performance rated. I have some other fabrics in the back. You can order them on our site. They'll come in a day. If you haven't already gotten them, go ahead and order them now, and we'll send you the swatch set out right away. Oh. The fabrics on the back, they'll have a rub count. And rub counts are this. When we rub the fabric together a certain amount of times, it will show significant wear. These fabrics are ridiculously high rub count. People get kind of caught up. Like, well, one says 200,000, one says 70,000. I want the 200 because it's better quality. That's kind of, all BS a bit. There is so much rub count. Like, for instance, back in the day, we all wanted linen sofas, right? That was the thing, right? A linen sofa had a 7,000 rub count. That means you could rub it together 7,000 times before it would show significant wear. Not that much, right? Then we went to cottons, all these cotton sofas that everybody had. That had like a 15,000 rub count. Oh my God, that lasted forever, right? Now we're at 30 to 50. 50 is what we call commercial grade. We're at 70,000 to 200,000. It's so far beyond commercial grade that it doesn't matter. So any of the performance fabrics at that rate will last forever and do really well. Now, polyesters will pill slightly. If there's excessive pilling, return it, right? Whoever's sofa it is, whoever's chair, whatever it is, if it's excessive pilling, return it. It's got shitty fabric, frankly. So we don't want that. So
can you define pilling for me? I've never heard that.
Pilling is like on the sweat, like your sweater, right?
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you'll rub it, it'll rub, you'll have
the
little balls, right?
Yeah,
that's inherent to polyesters. Wools do it as well. The fibers, if you were to look at a fiber strand that makes up the polyester fabric in a microscope, it would be a bunch of little teeny fibers all woven together and kind of interlocked. It's those fibers that then we bend over and we weave or we sew it that fray, almost like split ends in hair, right? They fray, and it's those little frays that ball up. So if it's excessive, that's a problem. If it's slightly, it's not a problem. But the trick is a little bit of a sweater shaver, right? A sweater shaver will take the balls right away. It's the give or take, right? The polyesters will help make the fabric last forever and clean. The downside is you might have a little teeny bit of pilling, but it's well worth it, especially for a family like yourself. So,
do you have any questions for us?
I don't.
Seems like the Not Called Frisco seems to be the right fit for us to be looking at on your site.
I do. I think from what I heard, the cozy factor that you want, I would say, and looking at your living room, I would say the Not Called Frisco is probably the right sofa for that sink in and your body size. I think Not Called Frisco is a way better choice than Sacramento. Not Called Frisco is a little cooler, just in general. And so I think that will go better in your house in general. Okay.
What do we do next as far as we go to your website if we want to pull the trigger? And
yeah, next step is order some swatches. Now, I don't want to sell you a sofa until after you've got the swatches. That's a must. We'll end up even calling you. If we see an order come through that you didn't order swatches, we'll call you because we want you to love it ahead of time and make sure everybody is on board. If for some reason you want to take advantage of a sale or something like that, there is a button that we have. It's called Decide Fabric Later. It's a good little trick. It's a way for you to check out during the checkout process, take advantage of the sale, lock in that sale price. Okay. At that point, if you decide to cancel, we give you all your money back. No questions asked, nothing. It allows you to take advantage and give enough time for you to order the swatches, get the swatches in the mail, maybe make some size changes or adjustments. It just buys you a little bit of time. For us, it kind of locks you in. It says, okay, you're a real customer and we're willing to extend the sale to you. And for you, it allows you more time. And it's a great tool specifically for people who are kind of in a rush.
Nice. Thank you for that. Okay, we'll order those swatches and
awesome. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm happy to help. We're here. The team is here. If it's a complicated question, the team will reach out to me. But other than that, the team can totally handle you and get you on your way.
Come on, we're excited.
Thank you.
Edgar.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right.
You want to stop recording?
Have a good day.